We are officially at the 1 year mark since Hurricane Helene swept through our whole area. Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, parts of South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Man, it's been a year already, friends. Now I just wanted to take a moment to catch up with you all here as we are at the 1 year mark since Hurricane Helene. And I have a lot to say on this topic. A lot has happened in the past year. A lot hasn't happened, and a lot still needs to happen. And so I thought sitting out here and just catching up with y'all would be a perfect time to just kind of do this. I know there's actually many of you that got introduced to our channel during Hurricane Helene. We had just moved our friends out here from Northern California. We were trying to get them set up with, welcome to the East Coast. This is what life is like in North Carolina. We love it so much out here in the mountains. Hurricane season, sure, that happens, but we're too far away from the coast. We've got all the mountains. We are hearing stuff about this hurricane coming up. We're like, oh, don't you worry about it. We keep an eye out. There might be some wind. We have animals here on the homestead and stuff. So it's kind of one of those, we keep an eye out, make sure things are okay, but it's never really that big of a deal. Boy, were we wrong. And we lost. Everything changed so quickly on that day. And I vlogged about it. You guys can go back and watch those. But we came out and we were kind of keeping an eye on things. And our little creek was just rising and rising and rising. Everything was just overflowing. We lost power. We noticed cell phones weren't working. Not only was there no power, there was no internet. Cell signal wasn't coming in. And things were getting crazy quickly. The water never stopped. The winds were insane. We had massive trees come down all over our property. We were rushing to save our sheep when literally a tree came crashing down on them. We were standing right there at the fence line looking like, man, should we bring them in? I don't know. This is getting crazy. Our barn is almost stripped bare. Everything is going really insane, really fast when we were expecting just to get some rain and maybe a little wind. Tree comes crashing down. We rescue our sheep and our livestock guardian dogs. We're putting them up next to our house, right? Trying to keep everything as safe as we could. When we're standing outside, not only is the rain crazy and everything going nuts, but you hear what sounds like trees just pop, 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 pop. What on earth could that be? There's no way that many trees are just coming down. Well, little did we know, that is what was happening. Whole mountainsides, the trees just look like a bunch of popsicle sticks snapped in half and laying on the ground. Our house filled with water. The power remained out for a solid week. We couldn't get the water out. We lost all our clothing, all of our anything with fabric essentially got covered in mold and was no good. Everything went sideways so quickly. And while yes, we shared a lot about that, I really just want to take a moment here today to talk about what the year since that has really been like. I know you guys have asked us some great questions and we've shared multiple videos about this, but there are real things that we are doing now a year later, still trying to pick up the pieces and still trying to be a little more prepared this year for hurricane season than we were last year with what we thought were normal preparations for someone out in the mountains of North Carolina to be prepared for the potential of. Now, one of the biggest questions that we got asked so frequently when we were talking about Hurricane Helene, now 1 year ago today, was you all can see a pool behind us. And you said, if you have no water, if you're in need, why don't you use the pool water? That could help you out so much. And you're right. Thousands of gallons of water in a pool would have been an amazing help when we were going through Hurricane Helene. Unfortunately for us, our pump on that pool had broken. I love these pools that you can get, these above ground pools, especially most of your Walmarts have them on clearance right now. It's a great time to scoop them up. We've had these pools for years and the pumps never last. And that is where I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to our partner AquaStrong here today. Now hear me out. We had just closed down our pool for the year. It was the end of September. The kids were done. It was starting to get cooler and we were like, okay, let's go ahead and close this down. We had drained out all the water. We're just getting ready to take it down when Hurricane Helene hit, and our lives have not been the same ever since.
And you're right, if we would have had a pool full of water, it would have made a massive difference to our lives. We could have still flushed toilets. We could have still, it wouldn't have been anything we could have drank, obviously, but there's so many things that we could have done if we had a pool with water in it. And so this year, one of the just necessities for our family's preparation was to get a pool with a good pool filter. Like I said, I love these little pop-up pools that you can get at Walmart, especially. Keep an eye out online. Lots of great deals, especially at the end of the season. I love this. It's great for exercise. It's great for therapy. It's great for giving the kids something to do. It's great for cooling off. It's great for so many different purposes. And it would have been a lifesaver if we would have had this water available to us. Now, we had drained ours out last year because I don't know what it is, but you get these pools and the pumps that they send with them are garbage. They have never lasted for us. We've had many different brands, all of different varieties, and we've never had pumps that last. And so we knew that when we were going to get a pool this year, having a reliable pump was going to be the make or break deal for us. And that's where I'm so thankful that AquaStrong reached out to us. Now, they make phenomenal pumps. That is what they do. I am amazed at the power of these things. And so when they said they would like to partner up with Heavenly Minded Home here, send us this pump over so that we could use it and have it here as part of our home preparations, I jumped on board. Now, this thing is so fantastic. They have many different types. They have the sand filters, they got the variable speed pumps. I mean, you name it, they've got it. If you have an in-ground pool, if you have a pool like us, whatever the case is, there are so many options. And again, if you are thinking about, should I invest into something like this, this has been a great investment for us. We got this pool, we got it on sale at Walmart, so it was a really, really good deal. We did invest in this pump, but this pump is going to allow this pool to last us years and years and years now because we have the right system. This pump has been doing such an amazing job. We got it, we pull it all out, they've got everything that you need right there. It's really super simple. I did find some videos online that really helped us in figuring this out. I can link them down below if you guys are interested in getting one of these pumps as well. We were able to kind of follow the instructions. We went to Lowe's and we did have to find, of course, everybody's got a different setup. We did have to find the correct pieces so that way we could take the pieces we had from the standard setup that this pool came with and translate it over to the AquaStrong pump. So what I did quite personally is AquaStrong sends you variable different pieces so that way you have multiple different options depending on what setup you have. I took the pieces they sent me. I took the hoses that came with our pool here. I took it into Lowe's and we just sat over there plopping stuff on until we could find the right pieces that fit. We were able to find the right ones, put them all together, add the sealant and stuff on it, hook everything up. It was really super simple. We had to play with it and tweak it a little bit to get the right setup. Honestly, that was probably user error. We're not so good at these things, but we were able to get everything hooked up, and these pumps are heavy duty. It is cranking the water out. I am so amazed. We've had really, really heavy rain. We've had all kinds of stuff going on, trying to balance the pool and do all of that. I kick on this filter. It has a timer setting so it can just automatically go on for however long I want it to, and it clears this pool up in no time. It is able to filter through so much water so quickly. I love it. It keeps the water moving so we don't have mosquito problems anymore, which has been super, super helpful. And honestly, the water coming out of that thing is so nice. It's like sitting in a hot tub, like the jacuzzi part of it. I don't want to sit in a hot tub. It's too hot for that. But I really like the jacuzzi part of it. You will find my husband and I kind of going over there and sitting in front of that because it is so nice. So just throwing that out there. Yes, we did have a pool behind us and everything when we were going through Hurricane Helene. There was no water in it, and yes, it would have been a game changer. So one of the preps that we have invested in as a family to have on hand, especially now as we are in the midst of hurricane season yet again, is to actually have one of these pools, to have it full of water and to have a pump that is strong enough to keep the water filtered and healthy so that way it can continue on being useful. We totally plan to just winterize it and be ready to go right out of the gate come next spring, thanks to AquaStrong and these amazing pumps that they have available. So big shout out, thank you to them. I just had to tell you all because this would have changed so much. And at least this year going into it, we can feel a little more at ease that we're a little more prepared. We do have all this water on hand. Yes, we've enjoyed it all summer. We've been able to swim. We've been able, we're doing exercise out here. I'm teaching the kids how to swim. We're doing all this different stuff. That part is so wonderful. But knowing that this is an emergency backup that thanks to AquaStrong is staying filtered and running well is definitely a game changer. You guys check them out. I have an exclusive link down below for you all, but that was by far one of like our most asked questions last year. So here it is. We're tackling it for you all.
So yes, genuinely having a pool filled with water that is filtered, that is good, that is holding strong, like very important to have as we're watching, storms, anything coming up. The infrastructure is so sensitive out here. And I shared with y'all at the beginning of the year, winter was horrific. Once power finally started coming on, it took the slightest little something to knock it back out again. We would lose internet, we would lose power, we would still lose these things, and we had to be so prepared. It is a little nerve-wracking this year with hurricane season upon us that it wouldn't take much, even what we normally used to get for a hurricane, to really cause some disruptions out here. I want to have thousands, it's like 10,000, whatever, gallons of water here and ready in case I need it. I have my prepared pantry. I have solar backup things, right? I've got the Jackery. I've got, we've been intentionally pulling together resources. We've had amazing resources donated to us that are all part of that, having things on hand so that if something like that were to come up again, we could be more prepared. I talked a lot about how it really just opened our eyes to how reliant we are upon the systems working. We went for so long, months after the hurricane, where some places you could use cards, some places you had to have cash, some places you could go in when cards were up and running, and before you got to checkout, it was cash only. The systems kept going down so frequently. The fires we had afterwards were out of control, and I'm really nervous for what we're going to see this winter. Almost 1 million acres of forested land out here were destroyed. There is just tree debris everywhere. Crews have been working around the clock for a year now, trying to cut down dead trees, cut down damaged trees, pick stuff up. And honestly, while it's happening like crazy, there is still so much to be done. It is a little nerve-wracking going into this. When weather starts to get a little bit crazy, I notice all of us kind of do this like, uh-oh, is this it? Is it going to happen? Where are we at? Because everything out here is this fragile. Now, I do want to talk to the point of, I know this is how it works, and I understand it. When something first happens, you have a large flood of people coming in and the attention it gets, and that's amazing. Unfortunately, there is still so much that is so far away from being fixed, being recovered. So many homes are still destroyed. Those of us that our homes weren't completely destroyed, we're still fixing damage. I mean, just driving up and down my street, I have neighbors that are just here in the past handful of weeks getting new roofs on their homes. The amount of damage that has been done out here is that astronomical. Normal things and activities and just places that we had as a community still aren't up and operational anymore. Everywhere you go, there are roads that are still damaged, buildings that are boarded up, debris that's left around. It's like nowhere you look out here has been untouched by the damage of Helene. And I know it really, if I'm being totally transparent, really hurt my feelings when this first happened. And so many people, I understand it came from a well-meaning place, I believe most of the time, but their response was, well, just move, just get out of there. Why are you staying? And it made me so sad because I said, well, this is our home. This is our community. We care for the people here. This is where my children have lived their life. I mean, this is, again, if the Lord called us to go somewhere, we'd go somewhere. I'm not saying we wouldn't, but we love it here. We love the people. We love our home and our life. I don't want to just abandon it. And while, yes, I still do feel that way, I've thought about that a lot over the past year because I am probably one of the most optimistic people you will ever meet in your life. I am the stereotypical glass half full in every situation. Like to a fault. I guarantee you I annoy people with how optimistic I am. But I genuinely, truly believe it. This has been probably the hardest year of my life. Nothing has been the same. Nothing has felt right since. I've seen it weigh on myself, on my husband, on our marriage, on our children, on our family as a whole. Everywhere you go, you see it weighing on your neighbors in your own community. Everything out here is pre-Helene, post-Helene. Everywhere you go are the signs of the horror that played out 1 year ago today. We try to look at everything. You just want to go somewhere or do something and, we got to check, are they still around? Are they still open? Then you get there, and so often, we have a local nature center, and I'm trying desperately to find things to do with my kids for our homeschool, because so many of the things that were our normal things we used to go do, you can't do anymore. They don't exist. They're not there. We love hiking. We love getting out and going to our local rivers and lakes and doing different stuff, and these places just do not exist like that anymore. The landscape has been completely changed. Places that we used to love going to just aren't safe to go to anymore. We try to find somewhere to go to. We take them up to this nature center, and the amount of damage, again, this is almost a year after everything, the amount of damage that is still there is just heartbreaking. Everywhere you go, you see it. I look around our house at stuff that still needs to be fixed, stuff that still needs to be done, stuff that we poured so much. We were so thankful, and we worked so hard with donations that were coming in, trying to utilize things here for the family, trying to pour things back into the community, right? There was so much work that happened until we hit a point come winter that we were just exhausted. We were just run down to the bone. We just couldn't go anymore. It was getting too cold. The weather was too bad. The wildfires started happening. It was just time to rest. And we did that. And then spring came, and we tried to pick it back up again. And honestly, it is just so much. There is so much damage. I know we have right here in our own home, and we're just one example out of many in the area. There's still a lot was done. Yes, praise God, thank you. A lot still needs to happen. We've had to figure out all year, right? How do we keep our animals and do our things without a barn that's structurally sound or has a roof and walls anymore, right? Like, how do we make these things work when things are so damaged? And honestly, it's been hard. And there have been so many times in the past year that I've just kind of said, I don't know. I'm literally going to go put my head in the sand and just not think about it, because the thought of it is so overwhelming. I don't know what to do. And I know I'm not alone in this, because anytime we're out and about in the community, chatting with anyone around here, it comes up. How you doing? Yeah, you still got a lot you're working on too? I know, me too. Is there anything I can do to help? No, I know you got your, it's the same conversation. Thankful that we can continue to share and continue to let people know, to be the voice for our own communities and say, no, we're still struggling. It's not all fixed. It's still not all together. Things that were staples for our communities will no longer be there. There is no coming back. So much has been so deeply changed that it is going to take years upon years to even have somewhat of a semblance of like how it used to be. I didn't even realize it until things will happen, how much like PTSD our family has from it. Every time the alarms go off, every time like that, a plane flies overhead, it was like you go back to that week, that month, when the alarms kept coming, when the search and rescue planes kept going, when supplies kept trying to get dropped in, when people couldn't get out. Driving back from Gatlinburg, you're driving on the interstate that is still just one lane each way, because throughout an entire valley, the interstate is gone. Out here, interstates literally washed off mountainsides. Massive crews have been working nonstop. And in so many places, the roads that used to be pretty legitimate roads, interstates, highways, multiple lanes, are barely one way in, one way out. Some places, they're still just dirt and gravel. So have we learned a lot since then? Yeah, we have. Have we taken our preparation seriously? Yep. Have we really reassessed how much we rely on the systems? Oh yeah, we're still not fixed. We're still not back to even where we were. There's so much damage that needs to be dealt with, but there's so much weight that we carry every single day, even when it's unspoken, because it's the list of things that we just can't catch up on. I have not felt like my home has been back to normal in a year. That is mentally wearing me out. My children are hurting because not only was that really traumatic to go through, but so many things that were our normal still don't exist. Are we thankful for all the ways that the Lord did show his mercy on us, and that yes, we still do have a home. Yes, we still do have our lives. Yes, we did get help, and we did connect with our community, and we were able to help others, and we were able to receive help, and yes, I'm thankful for all of those things. I'm thankful we had one another, that we got through it, that we didn't, lose everything. We didn't have a landslide here. I am thankful for so many things, but there's still so much weight in it. And every town you go to out here, there are massive piles, larger than multi-story homes, of just tree debris. And those piles have been there for a year now in every town. They're bringing trees in, they're chipping them down, they're shipping the stuff out. They're bringing more in, they're chipping it down. It is a constant cycle. My neighbors are weary. We had to get our septic tank pumped, and our guys, when they came, those guys have been working double duty since the hurricane. Yes, still running and going around and helping, taking care of people's septic stuff, and then turning around and running machinery and trucks, just trying to clear out rubble and debris for the past year. The amount of heavy trucks and machinery and stuff that you see on the roads, they're everywhere. There's not as many as they were, a year ago, but they're still there. All of us are feeling the weight, and not only jobs that aren't currently there, problems that are existing, businesses that were wiped out, things that haven't come back, things that just aren't back up to speed. The fact that our power company out here has jacked our prices up. Everyone is paying double, if not more, than they were before the hurricane. So while you were used to budgeting about this much for your power and for all your stuff, you're now paying up here. And for those of us that cutting it pretty close and living pretty frugal, that's a big hit. And yet it's happening. Nobody seems to care. So this might not be the most exciting and uplifting video in the whole wide world, but it's an honest one. It's been a year since Hurricane Helene. We're pretty much all still struggling to try to put our pieces back together. And even those of us that our homes maybe weren't severely impacted, we've got quite a bit of damage at our house that we're still working through. Stuff that honestly, I don't know what to do about it. It is what it is. It's just our new normal. But even neighbors that didn't have damage to their homes, we're all carrying the weight. It's everywhere we go. You check everything before are they even open? Did they come back? Are they still damaged? Driving anywhere, you see the leftovers of that horrible, horrible day. Things still destroyed. Roads still missing. Rivers and landscapes just completely altered. It's not how they used to look. It's not how they used to be. There's towns and areas and things that still aren't even open yet. There's so many families that have been so impacted. And it's not going to be fixed anytime soon. But we have seen God work and move in the lives of people throughout this in a way that I never want to forget. To see community come together. To see strangers out there that were watching and hearing our stories and sending supplies, sending resources, making donations, sending their prayers, caring for us, sending packages. We had to find all new clothes and shoes and bedding and, all these little nuances. We were living outside, like camping full time. Stuff is still going out and not working super great. All of these different pieces, yet you saw people come together. And so I just want to put this out there that if any of you are still thinking of us here in Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, even in upstate South Carolina and Georgia, the aftermath of Helene is still incredibly apparent. Most of us are still dealing with it on a daily basis. Those of us who aren't dealing with it right literally in our homes and in our workplaces, we're carrying the weight of the damage that is just a burden hanging all over the town. Everywhere you go, you see it. Everything you do, it's pre-Helene and post-Helene. North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, we need help still. It is far from done. Stuff has been done, but it's not there yet. Keep praying for those of us out here that are trying to still work through the mess and put it back together. And honestly, we would love your prayers for even just the emotional and mental toil that is still just battling on, as we're still trying our hardest to get through it all and to get back to some sort of normal life after all of this has happened. So much was done improperly from the beginning, and while things have helped, it was too big, it was too bad. Too much damage was done, and I don't think the area here will ever truly go back to being what it was. The Lord is good, And he shows up every day, and we've learned so much. We're trying our best. We're doing the things. There's a little bit of trauma going into this hurricane season and looking around and watching stuff. But by God's grace, we'll keep on trying each and every day, giving him glory all along the way. This is where our family is at 1 year post Hurricane Helene. If you're in the area, I'd love to hear from you. How are you all doing? I know it's a lot. Again, thank you to AquaStrong. I mean, them and other donations and companies that have sent resources and things that we've been using and sharing this past year. I will keep on sharing because it really is that helpful and that amazing to see great companies stepping out and wanting to partner, wanting to help. I'm so thankful for that. So many families and individuals who have donated and sent resources and supplies. You all have been the single most just greatest impact that has happened since all of this. More than anyone else, it's you all that have made a massive impact. And we're going to keep on keeping on. And Lord willing, we'll get to some sort of normalcy that's a little bit better than what we've got going here. But 1 year out, we still need your prayers. We still need your help. We are still trying. And you know what? Bit by bit, we'll get there. I'm glad you all were able to hang out with me today. If you'd like to see our playlist of all the different resources about this topic, everything that we've done, everything we went through, all of those updates, it's all linked right up there. Praying for all of our neighbors here in the area. Everyone's still trying to put their pieces back together. We love you all. WNC strong. We can do this, right? One day, God willing. I love you all, and thanks for hanging out with me today. Bye, friends.